Hi again, my name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And if anybody hasn't noticed, I've done 3 back-to-back videos for you guys today. No wardrobe change. But this is the video that's going to be the second half of my What Sold, which will be last weekend, September 30th to October 2nd. I told myself this week that I wasn't going to be listing any plush. I had to start making myself do the stuff that's just tedious and boring and just time consuming, needs extra work, takes longer to deal with. But I had to, because plush is so easy, you know, stick it up there, picture, write it up, stuff it in a bag, put it away. But I forced myself to do small appliances where I was doing one piece at a time. I did all of my Legos. I had a huge tote of them. I got them processed. Just a lot of stuff. But, you know, like the Legos took, you know, over an hour probably to line up all the minifigs, take pictures, and then start doing the lots. And just, but I've done it. I've made it through the week. I have a huge pile of plush over there I need to deal with, but I'll start all that next week. I never did get to clothes. That was the other thing I told myself. I was going to get some clothes processed. But I just, but we did hit a couple of yard sales and estate sales this week. So it was kind of broke up the tediousness of just, I don't see how people do just like glassware only or clothes only. Because, I mean, I even get tired of doing plush. I know. I even get tired of doing plush when I've done, you know, 40, 50, 60 of them over, you know, 4 or 5 hours. But this stuff is monotonous. But as you can see, like right here, that's I packed up a whole bunch of big stuff. You know, bases to Fisher-Price Little People, coolers, just like, what are they called? An Excalibur dehydrator. All these things have just been set aside. And I made piles over here. Robert's down to, I think, 2 things left that he was going to pre-pack. Because I know I've been doing this 23 years. I still pre-pack anything that's not going to fit in a large priority box. If it's going to be bigger, it gets pre-packed. Unless I know for sure I'm going to be using my 16 by 12 by 8 box. I've already made sure it was going to fit. But for the most part, if I'm going to go through the hassle of getting a box ready to make sure it's going to fit, it might as well get packed. So Robert's been working on that for me this week. But just all of that stuff takes so much time. And then you throw in the dang new listing format on eBay. Just not a pleasant week. But sales have been good. So, fourth quarter, right? Let's see if it still keeps going. I actually have sales on Facebook, Poshmark, Mercari, and of course eBay. eBay, for those of you who are new to my channel, I have over 10,000 items listed on eBay. It ranges from really low dollar that I'm just trying to get rid of or put stuff with it, but up to my highest right now is like $3,000. So a lot of stuff listed. So everything starts there. Then I use List Perfectly to cross list to the other platforms. The only other one right now that I do use that I didn't mention here is Etsy. And I've just not been active on there. I'm not active enough, and I hardly have any listings. But I deleted everything off of Facebook, and I've got like 30 listings on there. And I literally said the other day to Robert, I'm just going to take them down until we figure out what we're going to do. I'm just going to take them down. I don't even want to bother with the renewals and the deletes and relists. And then this sold. Fisher-Price Little People, just a Blue Mom, Green Dad, sold for $8. All right. This Poshmark, I only had actually one Poshmark sale, but it was a bundle. I had these 2 Matilda Jane coffee mugs listed for $14 each. Somebody sent me a bundle offer of $23 for the 2 of them, and I accepted it. So it was this yellow coffee mug and then this pink one. I haven't really even been cross-listing to Poshmark very much. I've just been focusing on getting my low-dollar stuff over onto Mercari, but also sorting Mercari by oldest and starting to use List Perfectly to delete them and then cross-list them again to get them a new, fresh listing. So that's just all I've been doing. And then, of course, my daily delete and sell similar for eBay. All right, Mercari did have a couple of sales on there. This is an Aurora Purely Luxe rabbit plush. Now, I sold a hot pink one earlier this year. I want to say for maybe like 30s, maybe. But they're very soft, very just elegant. That's a good word for them, just very elegant. This person and I went back and forth. She kept trying to send me low offers, and I kept responding 22, which was $2 less. But she did finally accept my offer of $22, so that was a nice sell. And then this I've had listed on eBay forever. Got it over onto List Perfectly. It was actually one of the ones that was old and that I went ahead and ended and then used List Perfectly again to cross list it, and it sold almost immediately for $6. All right, eBay. Lots and lots on eBay. VTech, the Go Smart vehicles. I pick a lot of them up at the Goodwill bins. They are these little vehicles. They light up and they talk. Usually I put 2 of them together and list them for like $9.95 plus shipping, and the shipping usually is right under £1, so it keeps it relatively inexpensive to ship them. And this is what happened with this. This was actually a 3-piece train set that I decided to keep together instead of selling separately. There were some people who were selling them separate just because a kid tends to break or lose one of them and then they go looking, and I sometimes do that, but I decided to keep this as a whole, and it sold for $17.95. This is Spark Create Imagine. Love the brand. It's Walmart. A lot of them are either rattles, crinkles, some type of plush like that. This pink flamingo ended up selling for $9.86. I think this is the last one of these that I've sold. This, I picked up, I want to say 6 Tonka Pound puppies from 1986, still sealed in their original bag for $2 each. I think this is the last one. This is the white cat. It sold for best offer of $11. These are tin and plastic little Christmas spinning toys. You press the little white handle and it spins and the thing opens up. They all needed repaired. They needed new rubber bands to make them work properly. I put that in my listing. I also always try to put like have issues, please read, anything like that to draw the attention, because we know sometimes people just don't read the description. Sometimes they don't look at the pictures. So I just try to do everything I can to explain what the issues are. These sold for best offer of $17.50. Lands' End women's hooded shirt sold for $12.68. Given the fact that it sold for full asking price, this was one of those instances where I did end and sell similar, and it sold before my new sale set in. Kohl's, not a big sale, $6.26. A lot of these, I have probably less than $1 in, but last year during fourth quarter, I sold out almost all of my Kohl's plush. So I pick up any and all. Some of them are going to be low dollar. Some of them I do better with. But they tend to sell very quickly. Another example, I did an end and sell similar. Sold just like that. Starbucks coffee cup from 2004. It was like thick restaurant wear. Very thick cup. $9.95. This sold in one day. It was a Seattle Mariners moose plush. Sold for $7.15. This is the Little People Castle that I picked up from the Highway 127 sale. I think my previous video I alluded that the other one had sold. Well, this is the other one. It sold after that one. This one was in a little bit better condition. Sold for $11.66. People Pals sheep plush 15-inch. Did have a cute little bell on it from 1992. It sold for best offer of $10. Gund BMW Honey Bear plush 14-inch sold for $13.45. Again, a lot of these I pick up at our sourcing trips to the Goodwill bins or at yard sales and estate sales for usually $1 or less. And I don't do free shipping. Disney Emoji Mickey Mouse plush. This was probably a Goodwill bins pickup. I don't normally pick up the emoji plush. Sold for $8 best offer. Fisher-Price Little People vintage. Look how ugly these are. Lots of wear, lots of damage. List them. There are people out there who look for these specifically to recreate other characters with. I've seen, you know, Charlie Browns and Scooby-Doo's. They take these and they build and repaint them into other characters. So don't be afraid to list these. These 5 sold for $11.66. NFL team apparel. I hope this is the last one. We picked these up at Finders Keepers. The one time we went, bought tons of stuff. But these did take a while to sell. Only paid $1 for them, and this one sold for $10.51. Nandco Universal Studios Monsters plush. This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame 5-inch plush from 2000. I pick up all character plush, you know, bread and butter or higher. It's just, I want to sell. I think there's another one in this series. I don't remember who it was, if it was a Wolfman or Frankenstein or something. It sells for a whole lot better. It still sold for $7.15. Now, this is Fisher-Price Snap and Style Minnie Mouse, but there is a series from Fisher-Price Snap and Style that are just regular boys and girls, men and women, babies. But they all have the same type of clothes. They snap on or you click their feet into them. I had picked up several lots of these here, there, and everywhere and set them aside. I finally found a box that had quite a few in there, and I knew exactly where the rest of them were. Some of them were the Snap and Style, some of them were just figures, so I made up 2 different lots. This sold pretty quickly, like within a month, for $44.95. So definitely keep your eyes out for these type toys. Wranglers. Robert writes the clothes down. Wranglers men's long sleeve button shirt. It sold for, in spite of the misspelling, $14. Hug Fun Gray Rabbit plush 13-inch, $8.96. Russ Radcliffe Bear plush 15-inch. I pick up a whole lot of Russ just because I love the brand. but most of them are my bread and butter. This one was a little bit better. I ended up taking a best offer of $15. And a lot of them, especially the ones that have the green tush tag, you're not going to be able to see it, but they have a green tush tag. They almost always say the bear's name on there. These we picked up at a yard sale that we featured in one of our recent hauls. I bought just a whole bunch of stuff that we don't normally pick up. These were $1 each. I had a viewer send me the name of a type of an artist who puts out these types, but I couldn't find these exactly using those keywords also, so I didn't use that. It was just basically they're posable. They were pretty large, 15-inch. Put a high price on it because, you know, like you're either going to sell it at the price you want or less. You're not going to get more for it. So you might as well list it high and see what kind of interest you get. Got a best offer of $25, which I accepted. Fisher-Price Little People Garage. This is the older version, the 930. I'm not sure if this came with from Farm Girl Scavenger Noel or if it came from the box lot that I picked up at a yard sale earlier this year. It sold for $8. Again, I buy a lot of littles at the Goodwill bins, and then I just make small lots. I'm comfortable listing stuff at like a lot of things at $9.95 or $14.95. I pick a price point, and then I put as many things in that lot of the same type, like Paw Patrol, and go with it. Just, you know, I try to keep the price reasonable and the shipping reasonable, and that tends to be a good business plan for me. Just a lot of littles, relatively inexpensive, cheap shipping, and they sell. These two figures sold for $7.50. This sold in one day. This we actually picked up at the turkey sale. Yeah, the one that wanted to be my friend turkey sale. I'm pretty sure we paid $1 for this. It was Disney, Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington, just hat, not a snapback. Sold for full price in one day for $14.95. This is New Holland Kate Tractor Plush 8-inch. The thing I put in the comments here, a lot of times when you buy plush like this, it has fibers sticking through because it's stuffed really thick, and then when it gets played with or the fibers start coming through, sometimes I'll shave that off, but a lot of times it just keeps coming out. And so I just make a note of it, because if you don't, it might be assumed that it might be pet hair, but if you looked at it, you would realize it's just the fibers sticking through. So that's what I do with these type toys. You know, I try to get as much off as I can with a lint brush. I could maybe get, if it's really bad, use a sweater shaver, but just I make note of it, and it does not seem to be an issue. This plush sold for $22. We picked these up recently. I want to say I paid $5 for a box of this Texas ware melamine dishes. I decided to keep them in lots instead of trying to sell one at a time. The dollar value just wasn't there. This was a lot of 6. They did have lots of wear and scratches. Noted. Took pictures of it. Still sold very quickly for $21. Sock monkeys. I sell a lot of sock monkeys. They just must be popular. This was from Animal Adventure. Small 10-inch plush. $7.95. Again, it must have been relisted because it's not something I listed here recently. Lipitor. Definitely keep your eyes out for pharmaceutical drug rep coffee mugs and other advertising items. We tend to find a lot of the coffee mugs. Lipitor is not one of the better ones, but we just recently did find one that was Paxil. I have sold Ambien and some others. Like somebody bought 2 mugs for me that I picked up at that high bid estate sale for over $200. 2 mugs. So definitely check your comps. And And like the Paxil, I couldn't find any on eBay or Terapeak. I had to go to Worth Point to realize that it had sold previously for $125. Otherwise, I would have possibly mispriced that, not understanding the value. And I went even higher than that because there's none. There's none to be found. And yeah, I've already getting lowball offers. It's all right. It's all right. eBay likes activity. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But Lipitor, just one. I find it more often. In fact, as soon as this one sold, I found another one. Now this is another one of those. Ended, did sell similar, and sold. These have been listed since the beginning of the summer. We picked these up at an estate sale. I bought a whole bag of this type stuff. There were some that were 4th of July. There were some that were Valentine's Day. So I divided them all out to the holiday appropriate grouping. And I kept sending out $55 offers. $55 offers. It sold full price. $64.95. These are just those die-cut wall hangings, but they are vintage. I want to say they were Current. You remember when we used to order stuff from Current? I do. I think these were Current, but I couldn't find any names. But some of the other stuff that was in that lot were in envelopes marked Current. I received a message from this potential buyer at the time. She had seen that I had 2 of these Patches Bears listed and wanted to know, did I really have 2 of them? I have them marked number 2 because one had a working sound box. The other one did not. So I assured her that there were 2 of them. Bought. Just like that. Didn't even wait for me to combine shipping. But I do always give a refund when somebody has not waited for me. It's just good business practice, and it makes for a happy buyer who hopefully will come back. But sold the 2 bears for $19.71. Lee riders, we find tons of them. Lee and Wrangler, a lot of them. These women's jeans sold for $13. Probably wasn't the greatest buy, but I did make a profit. I just picked these up at the same yard sale that we picked up the most recent advertising coffee mugs. I did pay $3 for it, but let me look. I'm going to scooch up just a tad. See, oops. I forgot to write this down. It sold the same day I listed them. I got a best offer right after I listed them for $11, and I thought, yeah, I paid $3. They pay $11, and it's quick. eBay loves that quick conversion. Elegant Baby is the brand of this duck. An odd duck too. Odd duck. Has the knit beak and feet. Maybe it's a different animal and I just called it a duck. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I think I had seen others listed and they called it a duck. But it's an odd duck. Sold for $8.96. All right, another example. End, sell similar, instant sale. This is Rogers Brothers Child's Silverware Set, spoon and fork. Picked it up at an estate sale, probably $2 or less. The case had serious damage to it, just cracks. But I went ahead and kept it all together. You know, there was a lot of tarnishing. Sold for $14.95. And then this. Talk about regret. I went to a yard sale probably last year. It could have been 2 years ago. But this person had bought out a Tower Records business. And his whole yard was just totes and totes of sealed CDs. So I went through them and I picked out several totes full of just Halloween stuff. And I'm down to the last few. I mean, I'm pretty sure just one of them that I paid, and I paid $20 for all of it. Filled my car. but I had my sisters with me, and I threatened to hoist them out and fill my car up more, but I didn't. That just wouldn't be nice, right? But I wish now I'd have bought them all. All of them. All the CDs. Because I'm sure I could have. I sold most right away. And I think I had like Elvira. Is that what her name was? I think she was like one of my higher dollar ones that sold almost immediately, that paid for everything. But at that time, I really wasn't confident with CDs. I mean, I'm still not. But I know enough now that I should have bought them all. And they were all brand new, sealed. I left all original stickers on them. But there's regret right there. But I think I might have one more package of them. A lot of them, towards the end, it was just the extras. I put in lots of 2 or 3. But these 3 I ended up selling for $9.86. Is there something that you left behind that in hindsight you thought you really, really should have bought it all? Bought it all. But, all right. My voice after 3 videos is just, I can feel the stress. I don't talk a whole lot. When you stand and do work all by yourself, you don't talk a whole lot. So when I've had to do 3 videos back to back, my throat is like, no. Hush, Rebel, hush. All right, let's all get to work, right? And I'm looking forward to my weekend away. Bye.